What is going on, nerds and nerdettes? It's your boy Stevie B with a quick little, I hate to call it a product review, but it kind of is, because I've talked about these guys and I have I've sang their praises on my channel many times, because I'm just a huge believer in the product. Yeah, you probably figured it out. I'm talking about old Victor over at Gator Guard Comics. Now, as is per usual with these times, shipping or availability on these is getting hit and miss, because it's really hard to source materials. You'll find it in a lot of supply companies these days. They just cannot get the materials. I know Comic Vantage is a victim of it, with his bags that he's so proud of, and rightfully so. They're amazing bags, but he just can't source the materials or get the sources to keep them stocked. And it doesn't help that we buy him out every time he gets a new one. But of course I'm talking about the Gator Guards. And I picked up 6 of them from Victor, and I want to talk to you about these things, because I think I've just maybe, what did I do with them? Gotta have all of it. Hold on here. There they are. I was gonna say, I was like, tell me he didn't forget the screws. We're good. They just taped in the package. But I want to talk to you about these. In the wake of the big CGC controversy, with them raising their prices, which doesn't seem to be, I understand prices never stay the same. The prices of these have gone up because the cost of getting the materials has gone up. You know, when you have shipping issues, you can't get materials. Then when you do get the materials, the cost of those materials go up. So of course CGC had to raise their prices. Don't have a problem with that. But when you raise your prices and you lower quality of service, then that's when I got a problem. But I've always had a problem. I've been very outspoken about graded comics, graded comic companies in general. I think they're unnecessary evil. And let me explain why. Number one, these people barged in to your world, to your comic book collecting world in the 90s, and told you that we are going to tell you what condition your comic books are in, because we're professionals and you don't know what you're talking about. So you send it to us and you pay us, and then we'll determine the value of your comic books. And then if you don't do that, then the comic books you have are of less value to you. So the argument for grading services is as follows. The big one is it takes the guesswork out of it. You know, when you see that label on there and it says 9.8, then you don't have to look it over anymore. You're secure in knowing that you've got the best quality comic book that you can almost possibly get without getting ridiculous. So you don't have to look. Takes the guesswork out of it. But does it? Does it really? Let's go search YouTube. Two Brothers Comics has been talking about it a lot. I've seen a couple of the frustrations that Dustin has had on his channel with two books labeled incorrectly, labeled as foil variants that were clearly not foil variants. A book that had spine ticks riddled all the way up the side of it that came back as a 9/8. Books put in the label, put in the cases upside down. Books put in there crooked. Rusty staples that come back a 9/8. A book that Dustin was absolutely positive should have been a 9/8 comes back at a ridiculously low grade. And but the horror stories for him go on and on and on and on and on. And, you know, so if you're not getting the consistency and you can't trust them that the grade they give you is really what you got, or even that the comic book that's in the case is really what you need. He shook them cases and that book just rattled in the cases. Just loose as a goose. So I ask you, if that is your number one argument for grading companies, then, and you can't trust them to be consistent, and you can't trust that the grade they gave you is accurate, because let's face it, this thing's passing through somebody's hands. And one person argued with me, and he's correct. He said, if you hand this comic book to 100 people and say, what condition do you think it is? You're liable to get 50 or 60 different opinions. It's no different when you take these, send these to an assembly line grading company and let Joe Blow, who God knows whose wife may have just left him that day or whatever, and you go in there and he goes through your book and he's having a bad day. Screw you. Your 9.8 is now a 9.0. We all work with one. We all work with that guy that just doesn't give a shit. And he's decided that your 6.5 comic is a 9.8 because he doesn't feel like doing his job that day. So, I mean, are you really getting the consistency? Can you really rely on their grading service to really be consistent and accurate every time? No. And who's to say that you send your book, you've got it all wrapped up in your bubble wrap and in your top loader, in your Gemini mailer, pristine and correct, and then Joe Blow gets your book, unwraps it, cuts it open, picks it up, drops it on the floor and rolls over it with his chair on the corner, and now he has taken your pristine book that you were excited to get that 9.8, and he has damaged it. He has banged the corner up. He has dog-eared it. He has bent it, or he has scuffed it, or he has done something. And now, oops, I just damaged this. What do you think is going to happen? Be honest. You're on that assembly line, you accidentally drop a comic book and you damage the corner of it. Are you going to go, hey guys, hey, I damaged this comic book. We need to notify the customer and let him know that we accidentally damaged his comic book and we want to make it right? No. Slap that thing in this little plastic gel and you're going to ding it for the damaged corner and swear up and down it came that way. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna do it every time. So when you go on these videos, and all YouTube is riddled with the videos of which one's better, CGC, CBCS, PGX, and my answer is none of them. They're all going to do the same thing. Now, there are some that are of lower quality than others. If you're going to go that way, PGX is kind of at the bottom of the totem pole, even though I don't care one way or another. I got PGX comics on my wall right now, right there, an awesome AOK that I got. I'm not slamming them by any means. I'm not saying that they're crap. They're still great, great, great books. And I would have been happy to get them raw even. But to ask the question, which grading company is better, is a redundant question for me, because they're all susceptible to the same thing. If you take your money away from CGC and you give it to CBCS, what do you think's going to happen? Oh, well, now we're top of the mountain, evil mustache twist. So we're going to raise the prices and we're going to offer less, for our customers. And you're going to take it. And we do. We take it. We eat it. And we ask for more. And I still get people to this day will argue with me that CGC, the grading companies, have made the collecting market better. And I'm asking you how. What have they done to improve the collecting market? I'll look this book over right now. And I mean, at a glance, I can tell you this is a near mint copy. I don't need a professional grader. You know what we used to do? When you wanted to sell this book, say this book, it's selling for about $20 on eBay. I want to go to my local comic book shop and I want to sell it to my comic book owner and say, hey, I want to sell this book. He's not going to give me $20 for it because he's going to ask $20 for it. Okay? But he's going to look it over with you, standing right there. He's going to look it over with you. He's going to go, yeah, it's in good condition. Or, hey, there's a little spine tick right there or whatever. And he's going to stare you in the face and he's going to look it over. If he drops your book, he's going to go, I'll give you whatever it's worth. We'll take care of it. We'll make it right. Sorry, it was my fault because you did it right in front of you. That's the way it used to be. And it worked for years and years and years. It was fine. And to be honest with you, if you're a collector, the difference between a 9.2 and a 9.8 is almost so insignificant that it doesn't really matter. But honestly, and I'll say it again, if you have to look at your book through a microscope to find a flaw on it, it's not a flaw that's even worth mentioning. So don't worry about it. Take your near mint, your great looking, beautiful comic book and put it in its Mylar or whatever and your sleeve, take care of it, and it'll stay that way. But I do understand the need for bigger books to want to protect them in a way that Mylar top loaders and just bags and boards can't do. And that nice acrylic case is nice to have because if you drop it, unless you drop it on the concrete and it hits hard, it's gonna crack the case, but it's gonna protect your book. And all that long spiel to get to Gator Guard. Gator Guard gives you that protection that you want. Because let's face it, do you really need a highly skilled, which is not highly skilled, but do you need a corporate factory to tell you if your book is in good condition or bad condition? I don't need them. I don't need them to tell me that. Do I? You know who fights so hard for these grading companies? I'm going to tell you who. The people that fight so hard and say that these grading companies are the savior of comic book collecting are the flippers. They're mainly the ones that are buying books for profit. They're the ones that's local comic book shop that you absolutely hate because you want to go in there and get your comic book, but since it's key or it's a variant cover that's hard to find, some asshole has come in there 10 minutes before you and bought every single copy. And then he's going to take every single copy that he bought for cover price, spend $50 to send them and have them professionally graded because that's what we decided is best for us. And he's going to have them professionally graded, and then he's going to charge $300 a piece for them. $300 a piece for a comic book that only has that value because it's in its clear protective case. Well, here's your clear protective case that you like and they are gorgeous. They are not scratched up like CGC. I've seen that a dozen times. The people complaining that their cases come scratched up, scuffed up, beat up, and I'm thinking, you pay that kind of money for those books, and by God, they better be in pristine condition. But let me grab a book here. I got them. I should have been more prepared. My apologies. Now, this is a book that was a gift from my good friend Comic Fu, and it's in a top loader right now, but that's not good enough protection for me. This is an expensive book raw, graded in the CGC, a couple $100 or more. But I don't need. I can look at this book right here in front of me and see any kind of minor flaws that it has on it. And if you'll notice, watch just for fun, watch these people that get CGC submission videos in. You know, where you've seen them all, where they hold it up and they cover the grade and they say, I looked this over and I graded it, and I'm thinking it should hit about a 9.2 or a 9.4, and then boom, guess what? They're right on almost every time. It's because you don't need these people to tell you what grade your book is. I'm looking at this right now, and I see a small dog ear in the corner. And Fu, if you come on here and roast me and say I'm nitpicking your book, I'm going to kill you. I'm not. It's a beautiful copy book, and I love it. It's got one slight little color breaking spine tick. You know, I mean, you know, got a few little color rubs on the back, but this is, I would say this would be a solid 8.5 to, you know, maybe 8.5 to a 9.0. You know, it's in great condition. It is not mint, not near mint, but it's definitely very fine plus, and it's a beautiful copy, and I'm going to make sure I preserve it. So, but anyway, you just set it in the center there, and the case pretty much snaps together like so, and it comes with its screws. I'm not going to screw them in. I don't want this video to drone on and on. I've already droned on long enough. But it comes with the screws. You screw it down, and your book is protected 100%. These are solid. These are not going to crack. They're not. You can't just bend them and then put a crack in them like you can some of the CGCs, CBCSs. But they're solid and they look beautiful. And this is going on this empty spot in the wall I've been saving for these. So here's your solution, man. I've said, you know, if you want to protect your books and that's what you're concerned about because you're a collector, then these are the way to go. These are much cheaper than sending them to CGC. They're much better quality cases than CGC. No, it does not have a label up there that tells you what grade your comic's in. If you need that, then if you need somebody else to tell you what condition your book's in, you're not really a collector. But if this is what you want to protect them and make and display them in a beautiful case, Gator Guard is the way to go. If you're more interested in the value and flipping the book and you want to get the most out of your money for them, then by all means keep feeding the beast. But they're going to keep screwing you over. They're going to get, the quality control is going to get worse and worse. Mark my words. Pretty soon people are going to be fed up. And then all you people that went out and spent all that money on professionally graded books are going to find that it maybe wasn't worth so much. My solution has always been, if you want your comic book professionally graded so that there's no questions, the best, safest, and most reliable way to do that would be to certify someone at your local comic book shop as a professional grader. Let them go through professional grading classes. Let them take those courses and learn exactly what to look for, and then give them something like these cases to put them in with their own little label on them. They would have their own unique barcode with their own unique certification identification on them. Then they'd they'd grade them in front of you. No shenanigans, no dropped books, no upside downs, no wrong books and wrong cases. And hand it to you in their sealed case, professionally graded. No 6-month waiting period. They do it right in front of you. No need for grader's notes. No need for anything other than you and him sitting down, looking the book over together, and here's what I come up with, and here's why, and here you go, boom, graded, out the door, professionally graded, just like you flippers like, and just like some of the comic book collectors like. Problem solved. Then we don't have to ship them off to these corporate factories for these assembly line graders. But that is my spiel, my product review for Gator Guard Comics. I think they are the best thing out there right now for collecting your comics, or for protecting your comics, and not having to send them off to the corporate stooges to have them grade them. And one other thing, I know Victor's probably watching this video going, dude, hey man, you're forgetting something. Guess what they have at Gator Guard Comics too that CGC doesn't offer? They have laser etching, and Victor hooked me up with my own etched, I'm going to put a background behind it so you can see it, my own logo etched into my Gator Guard. Now, how cool is that? There. That didn't help. I'm trying to find a dark background so you can see 500 comic books over here, and I ain't got one black background comic book to stick on there. But anyway, you get the gist of it. My very own logo etched onto my very own Gator Guard. That is cool. He can etch within reason. You know, clearly there's no color. You can't get color on it, but he can take your logo. He's done it for Comic Vantage, and he can etch it. There we go. He can etch it right into your guard for that ultimate customization. You can't get that anywhere else. Amazing product. These are, he raised the prices, so I'm not sure. You can get a pack of 2 for, I know a pack of 5 is $96, and a pack of 2, I'll put the prices right here. I'll drop a link to their website in the description. You can choose from a variety of colors, screws to put in here. And one of the other benefits of Gator Guard is you can swap the book out. If I get tired of displaying one book in there, I can grab another, I can unscrew it, take it out, put it in top loader, and put a different book in. And boom, if you want to take them out and read your book, you can take them out of the case. You can't do that with professionally graded comics. These are the way to go. He's got a limited supply in right now, but he said in June he is getting a shit ton of them, so he should have them. So go hit Victor up at Gator Guard. Get you some of these. Stop feeding the beast and start collecting comics. And I don't care if you flip them. Flipping's great. We all do it, and we all hate it. We all pretend like we don't do it, but we all do it. Books that we don't want for our collection that go up in value, we flip them out, sell them to somebody else that does want them, and buy shit that we want for our collection. It's not a crime to flip books. I'm not calling flippers as a bad name. I'm saying that the ones that are the most concerned about losing those professionally graded, if the bottom falls out of professionally graded companies, grading companies like that, then they lose money too. So they can't get $300 anymore for their $25 book. So flippers, they hate it. They love the professional grading companies. Me, not so much. Anyway, Victor, hit him up. I'll link all his socials. He's on Instagram too. You can hit him up on Instagram. I'll link his website. Website needs some work, Victor. That thing is I mean, you paid some high school kid to put that together for you, didn't you? It's a little hard to navigate. I ain't gonna lie. The website's hard to navigate. Go down to the very bottom of the cover page where the alligator head is and click on our products or whatever, or look or search our product. Bottom of the page. But it's not hard to navigate. It's just, it looks like a comic book page, and you're not sure where to click until you've actually clicked it. So, but anyway, love these things. You got to get them. Next time you see these, they're going to be on my wall with some of my favorite books that I can't wait to put in these and display them proudly on my wall. But that is going to do it for this product review. Go get you some. They're great products. Can't say anything negative about them other than they just can't keep enough of them. That's the only negative thing I can say about them. But they're working it out. They're getting some more. Jump on it. That's going to do it for this little product review, I'll say. We will see you in the next video. But before you go, if you would, please like my shit, comment on my shit, subscribe to my shit, and hit that bell so you don't miss my new shit. I'd love to hear your opinions. Disagree or agree. Love to hear them. I'll argue with you all day. That's what I'm good at. But we'll see you guys in the next shit. Peace.